reports using different filters with the help of slicers. So you can see that each have a different types, the payment type and the category, shipping, and all of the data. If we see, if we go to tables, we can see that all of the data is actually here. So we can see that we got the payment type here. So all we did is, it was quite easy that we have just got the data from these lists, the delivery time, the shipping methods. So this is how we created this. And so today what we are going to learn is how can we create a table with the which is showing us the active measures. And remember, these measures are not gathered in any table. We have to write down some DAX queries through which we are going to show how we can accumulate. So for example, I have different measures, and remember, these are not in one table. What I do is, if I click on delivery time, all of the reports are showing me the data against delivery, quantity, total revenue, and total transactions, you can see. And if I don't select any, then it asks me to please select measure, kindly select a measure from active measure to fill to get insight on your chart. So you can see there's no insight. But if I say total revenue, you can see that it's changed here. It's showing us total revenue against each product, and everything is coming through. And it says total revenue is what is selected now. So it's going to be very interesting. Let's start doing it, how we can do it. So the first step would be, if I just create it on a new page. At the moment, I have just created this. And just to show you, what I did is, first of all, what we are supposed to do, we have to create a table with the name, say, change measures. And first query which we need to write is this query. It says change measures, and then you can include all the titles you want to include in your slicer. And then you can see here, you can bring it over here. And if I show you, if you bring it over here, you can find that it has brought up there. So let me just show you again what we have written down here. So whatever you have written down, it will be coming on this list. And remember, these are not available in any of the tables as columns. This data is not available. We are going in any one column. Like for example, delivery time is available and quantity ordered is available, but we don't have the total transactions and total revenue. So we are not getting any data from any of the tables. We are going to create it. A card you can see. And behind this, what I'm going to write is, I have to write a query that's called selected measures, and using the formula selected value, change measures values select measure. So this is the measure we just created before. This is this one. Yeah. So whatever we have selected here, it will bring it up here. And we say, otherwise we want it to say select measure. And if you click here, if I click on anything, it will show us that value. Otherwise, if we don't select anything, it wants us to select a measure. The query again says the measure we calculated is called info. If I go into info just to show you. So info is actually, if the change measure selected info is blank, then it should tell me that a message sending kindly select a single measure from active measure filter to get insight on the charts. Otherwise, if anything is selected, it should just get that value and any sentence you like to add. So it's just kind of like of a disclaimer. So what's happening here is if I do quantity ordered, so it's showing me quantity ordered here, and it's giving me some data here. So now we are going to do a very important step now. We have to add another measure. If you look at it, it's a very important one, because when we are switching from one measure to another, we want our charts to get changed accordingly as well. So for that, what we need to write down is switch true. That's a function, and it's taking a switching between different measures. So if the selected measure is delivery time, and make sure the spelling should be as accurately done as in these slices. So it should pick up the delivery time. The calculations we have done, I'll show you how did we do it. Selected measure is a quantity ordered. If it is quantity ordered, then it switch to this, and so on. And if there is nothing selected and it is on all, then we have to, it should say select any measures on the charts. It's asking us to select any measure for that. Like, for example, you can see here at the moment nothing is selected. So on this chart is asking us because of this. So first of all, let me just show you what this delivery time is. If you come here, I have just calculated few table items here. So this delivery time is actually a measure. So it's the average of delivery time for each of type of the transactions. For example, for same type of product name, and how we are going to present it. It depends on that. Similarly, another measure or the sum of all the quantities in the sales data table. Total revenue is sum x of, because we are going to do some calculations here in a table. We are multiplying unit price with the quantity times. It shouldn't be times actually. It should be minus. So yeah, this is how it should be calculated. So discounted amount is subtracted. And the total transaction is just the count rows of all the data in a table if I show you. So all of the transactions you can see from transaction 1 to all, it's about 10,000 rows. So it's going to give us a count rows of all the transactions. So if I go back to my measures, if I show you what this is doing, so it's actually, if I click here, delivery time, it will bring up this formula, this measure actually, the measure we just calculated in a calculated table. So if I go here, so now you can see that first it's changed it to this, and the active measure is actually changed into delivery time. You can see it here. The chart also is showing us some information now. If I change it to quantity ordered, you can see the data has changed. Here data has changed. Total revenue, data has changed. And total transactions. So data is changing because this table is created. What I did, the table is created against number of years. On access is actually an active measure. So rather than I create, it is saving our time and space, that if I want to show my data against total transactions, I don't need to create different pages for that, or even different bookmarks. I don't need to do that. What I did, the same table is doing the same thing. So at the moment, the active measure is total transactions. And now this same table is working against and giving us a report for the total quantity order during these years. Now the same table is showing us the total number of years. So this is how it is working. If I show you what I did is, I added another table chart here. So if you keep changing, so it's changing the data here as well, changing data everywhere. And what I did is, so this information which is displayed here, what I did, I just copy and paste it. If you see on the screen here, so this is total revenue. It is the same thing, but I just changed its format, and it is coming on the top of the one which is behind. So if I keep changing, you can see it's changing the heading as well. So it's just a card. I have brought it in to show my data. And similarly, I want to give headings here as well. So the same card, I just change its some of the, I remove the background and change its visibility. I have already created, you can see measure, you can see here, and the measure, you can see here. So I have already worked on that. So if I change anything, you can see it's changed to delivery time. All the headings are there. So it's the same report, but it's giving us data against different measures. It's saving our space, it's saving our time, and the data is accurate. And if we don't select anything, it's asking us to select measure.